Good evening. I am here to talk about apologizing because as you know, you might not know. The timeline, the algorithm, um, it brings a certain energy, energy shifts. There's actually two energies that I see a lot of lately. One is something we'll save for another day. I actually made a video about it, and then after making the video about it, I watched it back and my sound went out. So I deleted that. And maybe I'll talk about it again, maybe I won't because it was kind of awkward. But the theme right now is I see a lot of this person wants to apologize. This person wants to apologize. This person wants to apologize. So many people just want to apologize, but I think a lot of people don't know how to apologize, or, things like that. It's not uncommon because apologizing would imply that you did something wrong, and a lot of people aren't able to feel that feeling of having done something wrong. Okay, they dwell in shame. They feel ashamed. And so, one of the major things that we see, like I would say Black Twitter, but I don't think Black Twitter is a thing anymore, but or even just like in ethnic groups, they'll do a skit like when your mom apologizes and it's your mom walking in and asking if you want McDonald's or something, you know what I'm saying? These are not real apologies. And so when you're raised with people that are unable to properly apologize, well, then you now have that trait of being unable to apologize. And so I'm here to help. But we'll start with who actually posted this. This is the love therapist. And just a reminder, I don't scroll on Facebook. I don't scroll on Facebook, but it's always funny when I open it how sometimes it'll have something that needs to be said. And like I said, the energy right now is definitely that of people wishing to be able to apologize. Okay. Um, I will have I apologize a lot. I don't always apologize correctly either. Okay. I don't always apologize correctly. And when we get into it, I will let you know what I've been guilty of because nobody here is perfect and nobody ever does everything right. Okay. So we'll start with this post says, dang, well, I didn't actually screenshot the start of the post. I just got the types of apologies. Okay. So again, this was posted on Facebook by the Love Therapist. Okay. And they are talking about the wrong kinds of apologies. Okay. So one is the I'm sorry, but apology. Okay. Anything after but erases the apology. This type of apology defends, justifies, or blame shifts. Okay. I'm sorry, but you're too sensitive. I'm sorry, but you overreacted. I'm sorry, but you started it. And I'm sorry, but anyone else would have laughed. Okay. Those are examples. Um, I think I've done this. I think many of us have done this. Uh, if you recognize that you've done this, uh, there's always another chance to fix it. I'm scanning my brain for a specific instance in which I've done it. I'm not coming up with one very quickly. But I'm pretty sure I've done it. In fact, no, it didn't end like that. Aaron yesterday had said that I did something that hurt his feelings. And initially, I didn't apologize for it. I told him, "You're just trying to make me feel bad." But eventually, "Well, if you don't care, you hurt my feelings. You don't even care about me." And then I was like, "Oh, he thinks I don't care about, I better apologize." So there was no buts or anything. There was just that I'm sorry, you know. But the I'm sorry that you apology. um One of my favorite tourist memes is one, how tourist apologizes. And it was, what did it say? It said something like, "I'm sorry that your actions caused me to react poorly," or some shit. Not a good apology, but so I'm sorry that you apology. This apology reframes your reaction or your feelings as the problem instead of their behavior, and it subtly blames you for feeling hurt. So the examples are, "I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you got offended. I'm sorry that you thought I meant something hurtful. And then I'm sorry that you took it the wrong way." I've gotten a lot of those. I haven't really given a lot of them though. Um, that one I'm pretty good at not doing, but it doesn't mean that I haven't, because I'm sure somewhere in life I have. I'm sure that I've done all of these at least once. Um, the next is, I'm sorry if. Whew. This apology questions whether harm even occurred, and it creates doubt, minimizing impact, and avoids owning what happened. Okay. "I'm sorry if you were hurt. I'm sorry if that offended you. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. I'm sorry if there was a misunderstanding." Um, why is my brain not working? I'm struggling right now. Um, and I'm trying to struggle. I think I'm struggling because it doesn't really give. They did say that they would have another post saying the right way, but I'm trying to formulate it myself, and my brain is just, pause, bitch. Hold on, catch up. And I'm not. I feel like "I'm sorry but" and "I'm sorry if" are kind of similar. Both are designed to kind of like blame shift, or both minimize impact. Okay. Both are avoidant. "I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry, but you're too sensitive. I'm sorry if you were hurt." Um, all of them kind of just shift blame. So this isn't accepting any kind of accountability. You know what I'm saying? Accepting accountability is being able to own what you did. Okay. So the explaining, justifying apology: "I'm sorry, I was just." Okay. This focuses on intention rather than impact, and it implies that if you understood their intention, you wouldn't be hurt. But repair requires acknowledging the impact. "I'm sorry, I was just joking. I'm sorry, I was just tired or stressed. I'm sorry, I was just trying to help. I'm sorry, I was just being honest." Hi there. I've probably done that with Aaron. I would say that I've probably done that with Aaron, because I'm Tari. I'm Tari. I'm sorry, I was just tired or stressed has been one. However, I often follow that up with, that doesn't mean that I can just treat you however, you know. It doesn't mean that I should just, I'm responsible for my feelings, and I'm responsible for my rest, and I'm responsible for this. So I don't know if that one, I think, hmm, repair requires acknowledging the impact. I know what I'm gonna do after this. Hold on. Follow through with the types of apologies, and I'll get to it. The performing apology. Fine, I'll apologize. Okay, these apologies are dismissive, pressured, or weaponized. There's no empathy, no reflection, and no accountability. Just an attempt to end the conversation. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I guess I owe you an apology. Are you happy now? I'm sorry. Can we drop it? And I already apologized. When apologizing, sometimes you're going to have to apologize more than once, because pain can be a lasting impact. You can make a lasting impact with an action. You have to be okay with, if you want to repair, you have to be okay with apologizing multiple times. I'm actually thinking of my mother. 11:55. Okay, there was an incident. There's a song. There's a couple songs that I have on this channel at the beginning, and before they were finished, I sent them to her. I just kind of sent her my draft, and I told her, she immediately wanted to show it off, and oh, that was so funny how. Wow, hold on. There's so many layers to that. She immediately wanted to show it off, and I told her, no, please don't do that, because it's not finished. And she decided she wanted to show my aunts or whatever. So she sent it to my aunts, and then she told me she sent it to my aunts, and they said it sounded good. And somehow she thought, because they had complimented it, that it was okay that she sent it to them when it was not. And I got very upset about this. I mean, I don't know why I got so upset about it, other than the fact that she just, blatantly ignored me and did what she wanted. And not only did she do what she wanted, she also told them that it was her coworker, Celeste. So you show my work, it's not complete, and you do not give me the credit for my work. That's why I got upset, because I didn't even get the credit for my work. And it pissed me off. And I went on about it for a while. And I remember her just telling me, like, listen, this conversation is over. I've already apologized. It's a performance. She's not really sorry. She got what she wanted. She wanted to show it off, and, she did not care how it impacted me. I'm bringing that up randomly because who my birth mother, her middle name was Celeste. And I have reason to believe that at some point they worked together at OSU. Okay. So that's another layer to that story. And when I was a child, sometimes I would sing or do things, and she would remind me that my mother sang. How do you know that if you didn't know her? But all right. So we'll move on. That was just completely a side little message there. The future conditional apology. These apologies put the responsibility on you to prove something first. Repair becomes transactional instead of relational. Ooh, that's a good one. But hold on, because my lips suddenly became drier than the Sahara Desert. Okay, so it says, I'll apologize if you apologize too. Um, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. I've never done that one. But I know people who have done that. Okay. Um, it just seems so unfair, you know, especially because it still brings it back to blame shifting. Okay, this person did you wrong, and maybe you did not control yourself properly and you reacted poorly, and they're like, yeah, well, I'm only apologizing if you apologize for what you said after I made you mad, that'll never be a good, that'll never be good. Whoever has that idea in mind. Also, people have a tendency to, I think people have a tendency to do this one because it's more of like a deflection, right? Where well, we both did things wrong. We both did things wrong. We both upset each other. We both are disappointed, and so that person, you trying to hold somebody accountable, or it can also look like, yeah, well, I already said it. That's what it looks like. We both disappointed each other. We're both disappointed. Okay, you're only disappointed because you disappointed me. No, no, you don't get to do that. Okay. I'll say sorry if you could show me where I was wrong. This one is a complete freaking trap. Okay. This one right here, when they do that shit, it's kind of funny just because I could give you an example of how people have done this to me. Okay. This one is definitely not one I have done. I could promise you that. But like I said, I have done maybe, not maybe, I've done the I'm sorry but, and I've done the I'm sorry if before. But this one right here, I'll say sorry if you can show me where I was wrong, is a trap because they don't have to agree. So you could show them, you could break it down. Here, you did X, Y, and Z. It was wrong. And they're like, that's completely normal. What's wrong with you? And then now you don't get the apology and you are sitting and stewing in resentment from this person refusing to acknowledge that they were wrong. It's a setup. That one, mm-mm, mm-mm. I'll apologize when you stop being mad. Ooh, boy. My mother's done that one too. um, you need the apology sometimes to stop being mad. I think I have said somewhere in this on this channel, okay, apologies are like the healing ointment. Okay, you got a wound that somebody created. An apology is the healing ointment that you need to really heal up nicely. Okay, because you can still heal. Okay, you can still heal. You can get some stitches, you can get a band-aid, you can get a gauze, you can get all that stuff from your own personal work of forgiveness. I would say forgiveness is like stitches, right? Or self-improvement. Okay, it's like a gauze, all right? I'm just throwing out little analogies. It's not, I really don't really, I think self-improvement is like a, it's like it's like the scab, maybe. I don't know. All I'm saying is there are there's multiple avenues to getting to healing, but what leaves the scar is the improper care of the wound. So if someone refuses to apologize to you, then you may heal it, but there's going to be some jagged edges on that scar now. Some people may never have a scar because they get apologized to, and things of that nature that helps them to heal better. So I'll apologize when you stop being mad. Ooh, they may never stop being mad. If they are struggling with involvement, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still very mad about a situation. I'm struggling with evolving from a situation, and They're just waiting for me to stop being mad. What you even coming here mad for? Why are you coming in my inbox mad? You should just stop being mad and then maybe we could try to work on this shit. They didn't say that. They did say the part about why are you coming in my inbox mad? But again, I'll apologize when you stop being mad. It's not something that often happens very quickly without the apology. So then you have the minimizing apology, okay? These downplay the effect of the hurt and dismiss your reality. I'm sorry you're making this a big deal. I'm sorry, but it wasn't that bad. I'm sorry, I didn't think it mattered. I'm sorry, but you know I love you, so it shouldn't bother you. You know that I love you. Like, come on, man. These downplay the effect of the hurt and dismiss your reality. Okay, so a good apology includes ownership. Okay, I can see what I did and how it impacted you. Okay, I imagine that felt however it felt, and your feelings make sense. I want to understand and make this right, and I'm gonna do that one again. Number 2 is empathy. Okay, I imagine that felt terrible. Imagine that felt frightening. I imagine that felt disappointing. Whatever it is that you think your actions could have caused, that is what you want to say there and let them know that you can relate. Your feelings make sense. Okay. Repair is number 3. I want to understand and make this right. Okay. And then 4, change. Here's how I'll show up differently moving forward. Okay. Repair looks like responsibility, care, and follow through. These are all steps in accountability. Okay. Those are all steps in accountability, but accountability isn't just the apology. Okay. It's taking action. It's being consistent. So, like I said, I hear that energy a lot. I see that energy. I can go down my timeline, and all it is apologies, apologies, apologies. Oh, I wish I could apologize. I'm so tired. Oh, woe is me. I should apologize. But they don't know how. That's why a lot of you haven't apologized, because you don't know how. Nobody's ever apologized to you. Or if somebody did apologize to you, you still didn't take it. And I notice with myself, because, my sister is the queen, okay? The absolute queen of telling me that I never take accountability. Although, even with my cousin, you know, if I apologize for something, I do work to fix it. Okay. I work to fix it, and you will not see the chances of you seeing me do that behavior again are not likely, or it'll end quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I might do it 2 or 3 more times, but I'm going to, you will see me rein it in. You will see me fix the issue. Okay. One thing I think that we all expect is immediate change, and that's just not always possible. I can't understand that. Okay. But some people cannot. But anyway, my sister would say that I'm like, you never take accountability. Okay. Even though I was able to give her, multiple instances of me acknowledging that I did something wrong and apologizing correctly. Oftentimes, too, another thing people say, "Oh, I don't like sorry. Say you apologize." No, don't. We don't have to be all that. That's a semantic. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do all that. If somebody says I'm sorry, you should still accept that. Then you do these little semantics. Well, they said they're sorry. That means they're sorry. The other sorry, like, a loser. um or because she has the idea that accountability requires punishment. Okay, we're going back to some of the first lessons I gave this year. Okay, um, because she had the idea that accountability included punishment, a lot of the times you're unable to accept people's accountability because you're like, yeah, but you won't accept my punishment, so you're not really interested in taking accountability. And so when somebody comes to you and they're actually doing it the correct way, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. They're not trying to take accountability. Take accountability. Be an adult. But they did take accountability. You yourself just don't recognize what it is because nobody's ever taken accountability with you, or they've only ever done it in a toxic way. Okay, toxic accountability. All right, so this right here is an extension of that toxic accountability because you're not doing good apologies. Ugh. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I did. What did you do? What did you say? You know, then you can get into because another lesson this year was causation versus excuses, right? Right here when we are talking about the I'm sorry, what was it? The explaining justifying apology. I'm sorry, I was just. Okay, that would be an instance of excuses, not causation. Okay, causation gives someone the ability to understand your perspective and your point of view when it comes to doing wrong, but it does not justify it. It just tells you, okay, I made a mistake and I did it because X, Y, and Z. However, I understand that my actions affected you in X, Y, A, B, C, and I take complete ownership for that and I apologize. Okay. Um so let's see if I can find an apology in here. And typing I apologize, but I only have 3 pop up. Hold on. Oh, I got a lot. I've got a lot of them now. Okay, I hit the ice. I hit the see all. Yo, take it easy. Sorry. I apologize for calling you a bitch. I do not apologize for my accusations. oh, 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 that one's not a good one. um, that one was to my mom. There's a lot, but maybe they're a little too I'm looking at them and some of them are a little bit too personal, I guess. And so, yeah, there's few, but there's not few, there's many, but I'm looking at them and if I read them then they'll be a little bit too yeah, they're a little bit too personal. But they're here. And as I'm looking at them, none of them are like that. None of them are um none of them have a but. None of them have an if. None of them have a just. Um they're just straight up apologies for what I did and what I think it might have caused. Um Now, one thing I will say is the if can be I didn't see one here. There is one. It said I apologize if I misheard you, but that's not really a I don't think that falls into that cuz that's more about me and what I did. Sorry. I mean, it goes on. There's many. I can't I would show you my phone, but then that would that would expose all the people in my phone, so we can't do that. But um sometimes the if, right? I just want to throw that one out there. Sometimes the if is because someone didn't necessarily express what they felt. So you're kind of like trying to feel out what they felt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I apologize if you felt like what I did was fucked up cuz they might not have expressed that. They might not have expressed it, but intuitively you feel like that might be it. I have one like that. I see it in there. Um or there was one where it's like I apologize if what I did caused you to behave in a certain way. I'm not gonna get too deep into what I just saw, but if it caused you to start neglecting yourself, or if it caused you to feel less than, or something to that extent, um, I don't think that one's necessarily wrong because it was an observation that I don't that they themselves never really told me. I myself kind of picked up on that. Okay. But anyways, that's all I want to say for now. I do have something else to talk about, but it's awkward. And like I said, I already made a video and I felt like when I made that video, I felt like it was a really good video. And it's just unfortunate that the sound went out. And it was my fault because I don't like wearing my headphones when I do videos. And I was wearing my earpiece and the alarm went off and excuse me, the alarm went off and it caused the sound to cut out on the headphones, the Bluetooth, and it never came back. So now it's like, dang, I'm not like really interested in doing that video again because it's so awkward, but it might be necessary because it is another energy that I'm seeing in my timeline and it's not just readers. Okay, when I am going through something or there's something that resonates, whether I've thought about it or not, it'll just start coming up in my algorithm, dating advice, people talking about certain types of narcissists, whatever it is, it'll start just showing up in my timeline. And so today, there's a few readers, like, if I see a reader, okay, I seen like, okay, three readers then pulled on this energy, right? But then there's like one or two readers, if they pull on that energy, chances are it's something that I need to address. So at some point I will. Now's not a good time. Aaron's awake, Aaron's in the house, and I don't know if you know this, but he's always in my mouth. He's all the way downstairs, but I bet you he'll come up here and be like, "Were you making a video?" So I don't want him to be exposed to this particular topic today. But yeah. So I hope everybody has a good evening. The title of this video wasn't really a good one. Okay, it says apology is the first step, in accountability, and I didn't really teach you how to do anything. I was just reading off all the ways that oh, I even spelled it wrong. I was just going over the ways that it's wrong, how to do it wrong. So yeah, that's all. Good evening, good night. Oh wait, yeah.